there, my name is Marella and welcome to Quick Yoga. Take a comfortable position but sit tall. I invite you to close your eyes, turn your attention inwards and bring your awareness to your breath. If you wish, you can bring your hands together as if in prayer to ground yourself and to center yourself. Notice your breathing. And as usual, we'll open with 3 ohms. Exhale, inhale. Om. Inhale. Om. Inhale. Om. Release your hands. As I teach this class this evening, thunder and lightning is rolling around in the local district and it's quite atmospheric, and I just find it a nice reminder of the power of nature and that we're really only a very small part of it, that we never ever control nature, and how nature shows up in many ways, particularly during these times of COVID and these times of stress, where we go to nature as a place of relaxation and a quietness and calmness. But this evening outside these windows it's quite stirred up, and there are very, very fierce clouds and heavy rain and lots of wind. So I'm expecting perhaps this practice to be interrupted by a clap of thunder. Anyways, it will keep us focused and present in our mat. So bring your attention to yourself and let's move into down dog. Place your hands under your shoulders, your knees under your hips. Walk your knees back a couple of inches, turn your toes under and lift your hips up. First down dog of the day, spread your fingers, grip the floor with your fingertips, externally rotate your upper arms, lift your hips even high, press the backs of your knees away from you, melt your heart. Feeling the power of nature coursing through your body, your blood, your veins, your arteries, the sensations that are showing up for you today. Keeping you absolutely present and focused. Float forward into plank, shoulders over wrists, keep your core engaged and look out in front. Heels over toes. Lower to the floor and coming into locust one, hands by your sides, turn palms up. Tops of your feet on the floor, flare your toes. Lift your head and shoulders off the floor, move your ears back. And release the side of your face to the floor and simply rest. Receive your breath. Locust 2, squeeze your legs together, lift your arms up, turn your thumbs up, lift your head and shoulders off the floor, lift your legs up as high as you can. Release your hands to the floor, turn your toes under and make your way back to down dog. Walk your hands to your feet, coming into forward fold. Line up your fingernails with your toenails. Float your hips over your heels. Allow your head to drop. Press the heel of your hands into the floor. Squeeze your inner shin, your inner thighs towards each other. Press the backs of your knees away. Place your hands on your hips, squeeze your elbows back. Inhale, press down, stand up. Lift your arms overhead, moving into power pose. Hands shoulder width apart, feet inner hip width apart. Bend your knees, sink down, back straight, push into your ankles. Inhale, press down, stand up, and come and sit down, moving into half boat. Stretch your legs out in front of you. Clasp your hands behind your head, interlace your fingers. Lean back, bring your elbows towards each other, lift your legs off the floor. More doable, bend your knees. Squeeze your legs together, lift your gaze. And release, and come into forward fold again. Inhale, lift your arms up. Exhale, bend your knees, lower your hips, and hinging forward, allow your head to drop. Fold in, turn into you, into the ground of your being. Pay attention to your breath. Inhale, come back up to standing, clasp your hands behind your back, interlace your fingers, coming into power pose, hands band, feet inner hip width apart or feet together, more difficult. Bend your knees, round your hips, so round your back, bring your forehead to your knees, lift your arms off your back, sit back in your throne, stretch your knuckles up, engage your core. Inhale, press down, stand up, moving into crescent. Lift your arms overhead, clasp your hands together, point your index fingers. Feet together, squeeze your inner shins together, your inner thighs, move your hips to the right, your torso to the left. Be as sideways as possible. Lift your gaze. Be careful not to collapse into the side that you're leaning into. Inhale back to center and switch to the other side. Inhale back to center, release your arms to your sides, moving into eagle. Shift your weight onto your left foot. Lift your right leg and wrap it around the front of your left leg. Lift your left arm and wrap the right underneath. Hug the midline. Back straight, bend the standing knee and sink down, gaze straight ahead. Inhale, press down, stand up and switch to the other side. Shift your weight onto your right foot and lift your left leg and wrap it around the front of the right. Lift the right arm, wrap the left underneath, hug the midline, bend the standing leg, the knee and sink down, back straight. Inhale, press down, stand up, moving into twisted power pose. Feet together or inner hip width apart. Bring your hands together as if in prayer in front of you. Bend your knees, lower your hips, cross your body with your right elbow and bring it to the outside of your left knee. Press elbow into knee, knee into elbow. Line up knees with hips. Roll, left ribs back, left shoulder back. Look down at front toes. Sit back in your throne. Enjoy the sound of the rain on the roof. Inhale, press down, stand up and switch to the other side. Bend your knees, cross your body with your left elbow and bring it to the outside of your right knee. And then press top hand into bottom hand, roll right shoulder back, right ribs back. Endeavour to line up thumbs with sternum. Sit back in your throne. Look at your toes. Inhale, press down, stand up. Move into tree, shift your weight onto your left foot. Lift your right foot and place it either against your ankle, your shin, or your upper inner thigh. Bring your hands together in front of you. Momentarily pause here or stay here. Or lift your arms overhead, clasp them together, point your index finger and stretch them up. Press down with the standing foot into the floor. Move the right knee out to the side. Square hips, shoulders, chest forward. Lift your gaze. Stretch up, root down. Enjoy your view from a tree. Inhale, lower your arms with a modicum of grace and shift your weight onto your right foot. Lift your left foot and place it wherever is comfortable for you against your leg. Press foot into thigh, thigh into foot. Inhale your arms up and stretch them up. Root down. Inhale and release your arms. Moving into warrior two, step your feet wide apart. Turn your right foot out. Line up your front heel so it bisects the arch of your back foot. Make sure the outside edge of your back foot is parallel with the short end of the mat. Inhale your arms up. Hands in line with shoulders. Bend your right knee, sink down. Move your right knee out in line with your front. With your second toe, the root of your second toe. Press the outside edge of your back foot into the floor. Engage your biceps. And press down and stand up and switch to the other side. Turn your right foot in, turn your left foot out. Make sure your foundation is set up by bisecting the arch of the back foot with your front foot. Front knee over ankle, hands in line with shoulders, and sink down. Press the outside edge of your back foot into the floor, engage your quad. And press down and stand up, and moving into a half moon. If you have a block, you might like to use it, or if not, you can do it without a block. Inhale, lift your right arm up. Step forward with your right foot. Bend your right knee. Lean forward. Place your hand on the right hand corner of the mat. Lift your back leg out behind you. Turn the outside edge of your back foot up towards the ceiling. Very gently roll your left ribs back, your left shoulder back. lift your left arm up and turn your palm towards the front. Push through your heel that you've lifted. Lift the sides of your mouth. And gently release. And switch to the other foot. I'm going to do it on the other end of the mat so you can continue to look at me. Right hand on hip, lift your left arm up. Step forward with your left foot, bend your left knee, lean forward, place your hand on the left hand corner of the mat. At the same time, lift your right leg out behind you. Roll the outside edge of your right foot up towards the ceiling. Roll your right ribs back, your right shoulder back, stacking your right hip on top of your left hip. Lift your top arm up. Push through both heels. And gently release. Wide leg forward fold, step your feet wide apart. Make sure your toes are in line with each other. Inhale, lift your arms up. Exhale, hinge forward and place your hands on the floor. You can do it like this, more doable. Lift your head, look up. Or walk your hands back. Line up fingernails with toenails. Float hips forward and then fold in. Squeeze your inner shins, your inner thighs towards each other. Bend your elbows. Engage your quads. Moving into gatekeeper, kneel up straight, stretch your right leg out to the side, point your toes towards the middle of the short end of your mat, place your right hand on the floor, right elbow touching right knee, lift your left arm over and look up at your top hand, roll your left ribs back. Inhale, come back up and switch to the other side. Stretch your left leg out, place your hand on the floor and bring your top hand over your ear, look up at your palm. Inhale, come back to centre. I'm moving into staff pose. Sit down, stretch your legs out in front of you. Push through your heels, press the sit bones into the floor. Roll your inner shins, your inner thighs towards each other. Lengthen the sides of your body long. Press the heels of your hands into the floor. Lift your gaze. Push through your heels, engage your quads. Moving into reclined hero. Come and sit back on your heels and sit down between your heels. If this is not available for you, you can use a block. I'm going to use a block today because I'm feeling a little bit stiff on it. And then walk your hands back. You can stay here or lower down onto your elbows or come all the way to the floor. Squeeze your heels towards each other. Lift your arms up behind you, turn your palms up. Inhale, make your way back up to sitting by coming up onto your elbows and walk your hands back. Move the block out to one side, coming into cobra, come and lie in your belly. Place your hands by your sides, walk them back, forearms vertical. Press the tops of your feet into the floor, flare your toes, squeeze your heels together. Coming through the gateway of your arms, lift your head and shoulders off the floor. Squeeze your inner heels towards each other. And release. And coming into west stretch, come and sit up with your legs out in front of you. Feet inner hip width apart, more doable, or feet, legs together, more difficult. Press through your sit bones, sit tall, inhale your arms up, hinge forward and reach for the ends of your feet. Gaze beyond your toes, soften. On every inhalation, stretching forward, on every exhalation, sinking down. Body following breath. Engage your quads. Inhale back to center. Moving into archer pose, bend your left knee and clasp the big toe with the first two fingers of your left hand. Inhale your right arm up and lean forward and clasp your right toe with the first two fingers of your right hand. This may be as far as you go today, or shift your weight onto your right buttock, lift your left heel off the floor and draw your knee back, shin parallel to the ceiling, gaze out in front. Archer pose. And release and switch to the other side. Stretch your left leg out, clasp the left toe with the first two fingers, bend your right knee, clasp the right toe with the first two fingers, that's the right big toe. Lift your heel off the floor until your shin is parallel and draw that knee back, for all the world like you're drawing a bow back. And gently release. And moving into bridge pose, come and lie on your back, bend your knees, place your heels in front of your hips. Press down with your feet into the floor. Inhale, lift your hips off the floor, clasp your hands together, shrug your shoulders towards each other. Press your heels into the floor, stretch your knees away from your shoulders, lift your chin. If your hips could be 5 or 10% higher, now is the time to try it. By pushing into your heels. Lift your chin out to your chest. Gently release and just roll down your spine vertebrae by vertebrae and feel how good that feels. Moving into double diamond, just Charlie Chaplin your feet out to the sides of the mat. Make goalpost of your arms by bending your elbows, turning your palms up towards the ceiling. Allow your knees to come down to the right. And then lift your head off the floor, turn it, look away from your knees and place your head on the floor again, sideways on the floor again, and you're looking away from your knees. Appreciating the relaxing nature of this pose, at the same time dropping into that place of centeredness, of grandness that is the only you that there can be. Inhale back to center and switch your knees to the other side, and then lift your head off the floor and look away from your knees. And just let go. and come back to center. And then bring both knees into your chest and give yourself the most delicious, kindly, loving hug. Feeling how good that is to receive. Release your legs to the floor and prepare for a relaxation. Stretch your legs out, stretch your arms out, turn your palms up. Relax, release, sink into the floor, let go. Drop into your true nature, the only you there is. Back into your body and onto the mat. Gently awaken yourself by moving your hands, your feet, perhaps give yourself a stretch. When you're ready, bend your knees, roll to one side and make your way to sitting. Bring your hands together one last time to honour ourselves, each other in the practice. We close with one Om. Exhale, inhale. Om. Thanks for practicing, thanks for coming to practice, and remember to appreciate the power of nature wherever it shows up for you. And also remember, if you like this practice, to give me a like or even a follow on YouTube or share it somewhere. Really appreciate it. See you on the mat.